I want to welcome the viewing audience and Dr. Doug Maxwell to the Tulane SCS Metaverse Island. Doug is the Science and Technology Manager at the Army Research Lab Simulation and Training Technology Center, and also is the founder of the Military Open Simulator Enterprise Strategy Project, or as the community knows, the Moses Grid. I'm Kay McLennan, a professor of practice at Tulane School of Continuing Studies, and speaking with Doug about the browser-based viewer he and his team at STTC are developing for OpenSim. But before I get to the questions I have for Doug, for the new virtual world users, I wanted to give a little bit of background. A browser-based viewer for OpenSim would be a game changer for educators using this type of virtual world. We'd be able to embed the viewer in our online course sites and would enable more students to access these types of learning simulations. So with that in mind, I'm going to ask Doug about his browser-based viewer. I noted an article in Hypergrid Business about your work on this, and I wanted to know how your browser-based viewer is going to work. Will it be a plug-in into a browser window or something else?
Well, first, thank you for your interest in our work, and we've been collaborators for many years, so it's nice to see you here in 2015 still going strong with the Tulane SCS. This is a really good example of dual-use technology. So you just outlined some really good ways that the education community could use this. But our motivations are actually more from a information assurance and security standpoint. So it's very difficult for us to deploy applications to a lockdown enterprise network, but web pages are much more easy to manipulate. So if we could have a standard such as the HTML5, the WebGL, and JavaScripting, be able to create a virtual world that looks, feels, acts, and even surpasses the performance and usability characteristics of what we now know of as the Open Simulator, I think that would be a win for everybody. And to answer your question, it would work just like going to any other website. You go to a web page, you log in. In our case, it would be using military credentials, such as the CAT card. But for you, it would be a user ID and a password. And then you would start out at your home page or your home location.
That sounds terrific. And then how would this browser-based viewer compare with the types of viewers currently used to access OpenSim? For example, would all of our scripts like media on a prim, the scripts embedded in objects that turn an object into a slideshow projector or a note card giver, would they still work?
So that's the wonderful inheritance that we're gaining from Open Simulator. Since much of that is server-side, and the modifications we're making to the server will not affect that, then really all you're doing is changing how you access and view, not how that works. So to answer your question, no, you won't have to go back and redo all that work.
Now, also, could someone build and edit objects using this browser-based viewer?
Oh yes, the functionality, we're going to try to preserve as much as possible the look and the feel. Any changes we do make will be based on usability improvements.
Terrific. Now, I'm jumping right into the thick of it here. Is there an estimated completion date or time frame, or are you already working on testing the viewer?
Well, we've kind of been working on it on the down low for the past 2 to 3 months. Those of you who are Open Simulator developers know that there's an issue with UDP and TCP protocols inside of the Open Simulator. And so we've been working to sort that out because The protocols are the most important obstacle to pulling off a browser-based system. So what we've been doing with what we call our Moses Grid Manager is using it as an interface, an intermediary bridge, if you will. We would like to combine the Moses Grid Manager functionality with the browser functionality. So those of you, for example, who are grid managers will be able to do things like set up and deploy your SIMs, monitor your virtual machines if you have those, or your servers. But also, for those of you that are just casual users, you'll never have to see that functionality, but it'll all be rolled up into one.
Fascinating. Now, I'm already volunteering for myself, but I don't want to hog any spots. Do you need any educator testers for your new browser-based viewer?
Well, as you know, we're not shy about sending out requests to the Moses community whenever we need testers. So, for example, we're focusing a lot of our attention right now on correcting issues with the physics engine, and we're just about ready to put a bow on that and consider PhysX integration complete by the end of this month, and then we'll move on to the next challenge. But if you look at the Moses mailing list, then keep an eye out. And those of you with Moses accounts are more than happy to join us in the testing.
Sounds good. And Moses and your lab has given away an array of wonderful content to the community. Will you be giving away the viewer as well when it's complete?
So one of the ways that I get around some of the pretty draconian data sharing restrictions that we have in the military is that I assign an MIT open source license to all of our code. That allows us to operate efficiently with our contractors, our subcontractors, our collaborators, and really the community as a whole. So the project will be hung off of our GitHub site.
Terrific. And as you mentioned before, you have an open call for instructors or educators that want to learn more about using Moses as a training simulation environment to teach a class or for a homework assignment on your website, and that also there's an open invitation for educators to subscribe to the Moses mailing list. When we wrap up here, I'm going to add that website address to a slide on the end of this little video clip. Anything else you want to pass on to the educator community in OpenSim?
Well, we appreciate your participation and your feedback. We do understand that there's a difference between training and education, but there's significant overlap in the usage of this technology. So anyone who would like to learn more about our efforts or who would like to share their successes in the classroom in using this technology, please feel free to contact me.
Thank you, Dr. Maxwell.